Yo, 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 it's Grip. And you're now listening to Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio in the place to be. You know what it is. It's your host, Maloney. And I got a very special guest with me right now, man. This dude has been grinding for years in the underground. He has a catalog and a body of work that is comparable with some of the greatest legends in the game. And if you're not familiar with them right now, then you're going to get familiar real soon, because this man just signed a deal that many artists could only dream of, and the co-sign that many artists can only dream of. But, you know, we'll get into all of that. But I want to introduce my guest, man. We got the one and only Grip with me right now, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling, man?
I can't complain, man. You know, I just want to thank you for taking this time out with us today. You know, we really appreciate it.
Of course.
And, you know, before I really, start to dig into a whole lot of the history and stuff, one thing I wanted to say that I really found interesting about you lyrically is, you know, and I hate cliches by region, but, you know, a lot of people look at Atlanta it's more a vibe and not maybe so lyrical a lot of the time, which obviously you do not fit in that pocket at all. But one thing I find really intriguing about you lyrically as a whole is I find that lyrically, structure wise, your wordplay is very reminiscent of New York, that New York East Coast region. But I find that your content, a lot of the stuff you rap about, reminds me a lot of kind of, you know, the stories and stuff. They remind me of a little bit of West Coast influence. You know what I mean? But then you got that swag, the way you carry yourself with the music and the melodies, and the way that you carry the music itself is very ATL. So you kind of are like a perfect mesh of kind of all the different regions, you know what I mean? Which is one thing I find really interesting about your whole style and your catalog.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I grew up on a golden era hip hop. So it's kind of one of them things where the first songs in hip hop that I was hearing already had the cadences had already doubled, the bars had already doubled. So it was already multi-syllable rhymes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas who grew up in the early 90s or 80s, it wasn't multi-syllable and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Me growing up in the 90s or shit, coming, I literally started listening to rap music in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So as a kid, so, you know, just automatically adapted to that. And that's what really ran the airwaves, you know what I'm saying, up until Atlanta took over, you know what I'm saying? But me living here, of course, you know what I mean, everything that I do, my surroundings, my environment, just, you know, my friends, all this shit, just you know, that's pretty much just where the mashup comes from. Yeah, bro, 3 Stacks is my favorite fucking rapper of all time. You know what I'm saying? So just listening to them and studying and like I said, coming from that other era where I was able to just be a kid and write down the lyrics and shit. It wasn't no fucking lyric videos and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had to listen to that shit. You had to listen to that shit over and over. You had to write the shit if it wasn't if it wasn't in the album cover book, shit like that. So, you know, I think that shit kind of helped sharpen my pen. Yeah, if I'd say that, yeah.
This is funny. I do remember those days too. Yeah, back then you couldn't go on genius.com, man. You wanted the lyrics of a song to memorize them. You had to sit there, press play, pause, play, pause, and write that shit down in the book.
All right, yeah, man. I just fuck around and listen. I just walk around, have me a Walkman and shit. You know what I'm saying? I go to, you know what I'm saying, school, whatever the fuck, with a iPod, whatever the fuck I had. You know what I'm saying, at the time, shit. That's just what I would do. And that shit, like I said, it helped me. It helped me because it was just if you really wanted to do it, shit, you really had to do it. Now it's just shit. I feel like motherfuckers think that they want to rap just because it's so accessible. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will be in your DM asking what should I do to start my rap career? It's like, nigga, I couldn't reach out to nobody and say no shit like that. I just had to go and get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like now it's just it's different now. You know what I'm saying? You got, you know, the Genius app and just other, you know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of shit, man. I feel like it's just way too accessible. And it kind of serves as a crutch, you know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to all the young niggas doing it though, for sure.
Yeah, and most definitely, man. And actually, one thing you said as well, about 3 Stacks being your favorite MC, I can hear it in your music. You know, like for example, the Porch album, the way that album is constructed. First off, I just want to say, genius. Absolutely love that. The whole concept of the album, from you starting off on the porch to, you know, like,
yeah.
It's so vivid, but it reminded me of 3 Stacks, like the way when he gets his storytelling, and it's just so vivid. You feel like you're sitting there and you're watching it. You know what I mean? And that's a rare quality for a lot of MCs to be able to really paint the picture in your head.
I appreciate that, man. Now, Porch was my first go at full length project. So, yeah, man. I think that we we nailed what we were going for sure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Porch is one of my favorite projects, man. So
it's absolutely incredible, man. I think you know, and I think as your name and your brand gets bigger, when people go back and check your catalog, I think that's going to be one of those classics in 10 years that maybe people at the time overlooked or weren't familiar with, but then, you know, time it becomes highly regarded, because it's absolutely phenomenal, man. From the production, like I said, the vividness, but not only is it vivid storytelling, but you still maintain your multi-syllable lyricism, and like you check, as Royce would say to Mickey Fax, you check the boxes. You know what I mean?
Check the boxes, yeah, for sure. Check the boxes, man. Yeah, I'm a stickler when it comes to that type of shit, man. You know, like when it calls for it, I can do that shit. When it calls for something else, I can do something else. Yeah, I feel I like to think that I could do it all. So whatever the album calls for in certain moments and shit, you know, I think I can provide it, that to make the body of work the best possible body of work. Some people might over rap shit sometimes. You ever heard a rapper who just like damn, nigga, I get it, you can rap, bro. Like, damn, nigga, like the whole album, you just gonna do the whole, like, you know what I'm saying? You rapping the whole shit to the point where it's like, yo, like I can't even listen to this shit in the car with a female type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like you wanna make sure that you check all those boxes, man. Like, so I'm big on that shit. Cause at the end of the day, you want that shit to be consumed, man. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody to be able to listen to that shit whenever, not just when they're thinking about certain, you know, like in a certain mood. You want that shit to touch all moods. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the best way to do it, because that's just a way to guarantee that your shit gonna get played, like in every facet. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, no, I'm big on that shit, man. Like a body of work. Like I love making albums, creating albums, and creating worlds and shit. So yeah, I'm yeah, man. Porch. Shout out to Porch. And shout out to Two. Our first project we did together.
Yeah, that album, honestly, it's incredible, man. And you check the boxes. And one thing you said there too that I agree with, and I think that's the struggle a lot of artists have, is they might be able to shut off certain boxes and shut off, like, you know, given the surroundings of what they're trying to accomplish. But I think a lot of times, a lot of artists who are either A, super lyrical, or maybe B, you know, more to lean more towards the vibe or whatever. I think a lot of the artists on both spectrums have a hard time having that middle ground where it's perfect. You know what I mean? Where you can please everybody, you know. And I think that's one of the things to be, you know, Good Kid, Mad City as well, you know, made that album so highly regarded, because he was able to appeal to pretty damn near every audience in hip hop, you know?
Definitely. You hear a lot of shit from like fans or just critics and shit, like that's just like, oh well, I didn't want to hear this. It's like, well, motherfucker, listen to the other song. Like, you're not the only person who listening to this shit. Like, what? Like, yeah, motherfuckers act like it's just like catered to them specifically. It's
Yeah.
like, no, bro, like no. And it's somebody who gonna love all your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who gonna love all your shit. And then there's somebody who gonna say, hey man, I don't want to hear Grip rap about uh uh getting pussy or some shit. Like it's just like, bro, like do you not get pussy? Like it's like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna rap about every fucking rap about whatever, rap about all this shit, bro. Like touch on everything. You know, I feel like that. Yeah, don't let the fans sway you into thinking that you're supposed to just be boxed in and just rap about one fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's definitely a key to failure.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think like another point you made there too that I think is valid is sometimes, yeah, it does seem forced. And like I have had albums where like, you might have a such and such joint and then you got like the girl joint. And it's not so
Yeah.
much that I don't want to hear somebody rap about getting pussy. It's the fact that it's not done cohesively. But that's
Right,
one thing.
right.
But that's the thing about Porch is the songs seamlessly fit together. Like they all sound like they're
Yeah.
supposed to be together. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's what I think makes it so genius of a project, to be honest with you.
I appreciate that, man. For real.
What
I
was
appreciate
your
that.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, you good. You good.
I was just gonna say, what was your inspiration behind making the Porch album?
Let's see. I just shit, man. I wanted to tell some stories and goddamn just kind of paint a picture of like how the shit was like coming up, how the shit is now, like the shit that we got into. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like where I'm from and shit. With the Porch kind of being like a staple in the South. And just tell the story from three different perspectives. Uh yeah, that's you know what I'm saying? Like that was really it. Um and just find a way to tie it all in, you know, like and then, even though it was conceptual, I kind of left Porch feeling like, damn, like all right, so I had this thing that happens every time I complete a project. I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do next, man? How I'm gonna top this? And two, it was like my main producer is just like, man, shut up, bro. Like, yeah, blah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always do this shit. So like after Porch, I'm like, damn, yeah, it was conceptual, but I didn't tie the shit in. I ain't got them, like I created this world, but I didn't feel like fully satisfied with that shit. And if you listen to Porch, it's still raw. That's the beauty of it. It's still
Yeah.
raw. You know what I'm saying? So like it was certain shit that I hadn't even just like accessed that, like in my fucking rap brain type shit. I just had to access certain shit yet. So then Porch put us in a position to where I was like, fuck, oh, okay, I get to work on music full time. You know what I'm saying? So then I was able to craft Snub Nose just with that time and knowing that, okay, this one's gonna be a little bit more anticipating than the other shit. So that inspires you a little bit, because the last thing you want to do is you feel like you made this incredible piece of work, and then it's just like nobody heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, 10 years later, they coming back like, oh my God, this is, but in the moment you like, fuck. Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck I'm doing this shit for? Like you and Tig spoke about earlier. It's just like, yo, what the fuck am I gonna, why the fuck I'm keeping doing this shit? And it's just, oh yeah, the best person you never heard of. It's like, well shit, nigga, I need motherfuckers to hear this shit. Like, or else this shit ain't paying off. Like what the fuck I keep doing this shit for? You know what I'm saying? So I was able to tap into Snub Nose, just tap into a whole different element in Snub Nose. And just with the little bit of more, like we only had a few more resources than we did, you know what I'm saying, making Porch. But I was able to, I feel like, make a good sophomore full length project type shit. Like as my second project, I feel like it was damn near night and day. So, but I still love Porch. You know what I'm saying? Still my baby.
It's an incredible piece of work. And actually you brought up you did bring up your follow-up album. And one thing I had to ask you about, I read this, and I mean, listening to the album, I can hear it, but I had to hear it from I had to ask you, was that album inspired by I Gave You Power?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I just like the light up on my phone. But yeah, I Gave You Power was one of my favorite songs. And to me, it was just like, I remember the first. It's a few songs that I remember where I was at, how I felt when I first heard the motherfucking song. It's only a few songs. Like I got maybe a handful of songs, and that was one of them. Now I was just like, God damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this nigga just broke this shit down like in a fucking song, and it's just like, Nas is one of my favorite MCs. So it's just like I think that subconsciously, you know what I'm saying, but still able to give a nod to it. Like, of course, it inspired me, but to me, it was more so, okay, well, I'm gonna turn this motherfucker into a character. I'm gonna craft the album, and since it's a revolver, the whole album is gonna revolve around the gun type shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I was able to just like create this world, create a character in Lil Snub, you know what I'm saying? Like who gun and just give you these just different situations, you know what I'm saying, that play out like where I'm from and shit, or just like where we all from. Like with gun violence and just the whole nine, you know what I'm saying, how this shit plays out. Like all of this shit just like revolved around this gun, you know what I'm saying, this weapon that's so powerful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it can be used just like negatively, used for protection, it can be used however, you know what I'm saying, but try to tie it all in at the end, where maybe the cons outweigh the pros probably, you know what I'm saying? But like somebody told me, it was like, yo, this shit inside as hell. I'm like, well shit, man, that's reality, bro. Like what you wanted? This ain't a fucking fairy tale. Like,
Yep.
The fucking album cover has a gun on the front of it. Like, what do you expect?
Now I'm happy until I felt somebody else grab me. Damn.
You feel me? You feel me? Like, so like that shit was sick. And like on my shit, I got the, hey, I want to see where my uncle keep his gun. And at the end of the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the kids end up, you know what I'm saying, the gun goes off and one of the kids are hit. Yeah, one of the, you know what I'm saying, like one of the friends are hit, and it's just like, hey, that's full circle moment type shit. So, you know, the cycle continues is what I kept repeating in that shit. So yeah, man, I think that we were able to, you know, nail that shit, bro. And that shit really like put me in the position that I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? So
well, the execution of the album, flawless. But I had to ask that because I mean, it, like I said, in listening to it and I read it, so I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a fact. But I Gave You Power to me is, it might be my favorite hip hop song of all time, but if not, it's top 5. You know what I mean? Easily top 5. You know, I could recite the whole thing to you right now, back of my hand. You know, and I think that, you know, it is regarded amongst hip hop heads, you know, as one of those records, but I don't really think it gets put in the category of like I don't really think that song gets the respect that it really deserves. So when, you know, by listening to the album, you know, it was reminiscent of that. But when I read it actually in an article earlier today, I was like, oh man, that just made me like the album even more. You know what I mean? And just the way you explained it, everything revolving around the gun, and like just the way that you metaphorically crafted the album, like it's genius, man. It's actually ingenious. Like that, like
Nas planted that seed. Shout out to Nas.
oh man, yo, that's what you know, that like, see, and that's one thing I love about the music, man. It's like you're not only well thought out, but there are the seeds of influence there of things and like the little nods, but it's not like right in your face and evident. You know what I mean? Like you go sample the what is it? Ahmed Jamal sample or whatever the Nas used and go, you know what I mean? But yeah,
right.
You know, but but the way that you're able to be like, okay, like this is a cool idea, and like
Yeah.
just to be able to expand on something and make something so even more metaphorical and creative and full-bodied is just, you know, it's phenomenal, man. And I think that's what makes a great artist, you know what I mean? Being able to take little seeds of inspiration and be able to grow trees out of them, you know?
Yeah, man, for sure. For sure.
And so like, you know, I do want to move forward as well too. Because I mean, obviously we'll get to the Shady thing and all of that, but you know, you have, I want to highlight some of the earlier parts of your career, right? Because I think they're important, and I think the music is just so incredible, and I think that people are doing themselves a disservice by not being familiar with it, right? And I think you know, you're able to ride lanes and all these different kind of sounds and stuff. And I love the production. Like you said, your man too. He's who handles the majority of your production.
Yeah, too. He handles the majority of the production. We actually went to high school together and shit. But we actually didn't end up linking up until after high school. And Porch was the first project that we worked on together. But yeah, he's dope as shit. He got them. He's a creative genius. I like to say. Yeah, man, my motherfucking dog too.
The production's amazing because it sounds up to date. It doesn't sound old school, but at the same time, if you're a fan of 90s hip hop and stuff,
yeah, he's a fucking hip hop purist, man.
Yeah, I could tell. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, but the opening on Porch, I feel like is that Brothers Johnson Strawberry 23 sample chopped up and played in a different sequence. But the way it's done, I can't even be 100% sure. That's genius sampling right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's sick, man. He's sick. He's sick
and I
as
mean,
fuck.
call your shit out. If that was right, you know, you want me to cut that out, you know, for
I don't even remember, bro.
it sounded a little bit like it, but like just even opening on that album, I was like, whoever produced this, they like, this is a producer, like they know what the fuck they're doing. Because I'm like, I think that's that. But either way, I just say that to say I love the production and the way your two chemistry goes together. Like, you know, it's got that element of the hip hop I grew up on and love, but it sounds up to date and it's fresh. You know what I mean? And I think that's also a hard kind of line for certain producers to be able to kind of walk on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to.
And I did want to ask you as well about the 100-yard dash being in the Madden 20. How did that end up happening?
Me and Tig got to LA one day and we linked with Bregma. And matter of fact, 100-yard dash. Oh no, that was 911. 100-yard dash. They just said, they asked me if I had a song for Madden Post, my publishing company, and I just hit up one of my homies, Bijan. I hit up Bijan, who's a producer, and I just made a song and sent it there. That's literally how it happened.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tig. I might have made that shit the same day, but yeah, that's all that was.
That's the grind there, though, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. And I know that you also did have the song in the HBO show.
Yeah, that was the one. That's 911, which was on Euphoria. That was the one. Yeah, got to LA, met up with Bregma at Human Resources Studios, and I made that in one day as well.
And that song,
that was just that's just like, you know what I'm saying, that was like sync songs and shit, like songs that's gonna catch certain TV shows or video games and shit like that. So,
but seeing to be able to have that versatility, you know what I mean? I think that's special. You know, I think a lot of people who have the talent you do as an MC, when it comes to having to, you know, you almost geek yourself out when it's like, you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh shit, I gotta try to make something that's a little more like that can catch yourself. A lot of dudes
Right.
themselves out trying to do that. You know what I mean? But the way that you're able to just, I
Right.
went and did that in the day and it worked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man, cause look, man, we fuck around and just like, bro, we have fun, bro. We like I've been doing this shit, bro. Like when niggas is in the car, drunk and fuck, high as hell rapping, you ain't just goddamn just doing multi-syllables and all this shit. Like, bro, you flowing, bro. Like that's just how it is. Like I'm one of the goddamn, I'm one of the homies, bro. Like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just like locked up in a dungeon all day writing raps and shit. I'm so crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been doing this shit for a long time. So like I could just do I guess I could just do a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that, and that's where the album shit comes in. Like when you make an album and you know, like, okay, I want to hear this sound on that. I want to have this type of song on the album. Cause I want to listen to that shit too. And you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to goddamn ride with whoever in the whip with the shit too. And you ain't just some serious ass, everything serious and shit. Like, yeah, like, so yeah, I apply it to my own shit. I apply it to my own shit for sure. So yeah, man.
And I think one thing you just said there too, is really important that I think a lot of artists don't necessarily keep in mind, but having fun. Like how important to you is having fun in the studio, being part of the process? Because I think that's a very important element that a lot of times, you know, dudes will go in there and they'll be like, you know, them and the engineer. It's like,
Right,
you know what
right,
I mean? But like to be
right.
able to, if you're not having fun, the music's not going to come out sounding fun. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the energy. It reciprocates through the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Now, of course, it's like, yo, all right, you gotta whatever. But 9 times out of 10, man, if I'm in the studio, like, yeah, for one, it's like I'm probably getting fucked up, just like probably drinking or whatever the fuck. A lot of times I write at different times. So like I could be in a car and just be driving and then just start writing some shit or just start thinking about some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll bar some shit. And then by the time I get to the studio, uh I probably already have verses and shit. You know what I'm saying? By the time I get to the studio. So I've recorded it at my studio, at my house, and I've rolled to that shit a few times, and I know how I want to say this shit. I know how I want to execute it. So by the time I hit the real studio, you know what I'm saying? It's like if it's just me too and the engineer or whatever the fuck, like okay, I'm coming with my motherfucking 6-pack of my own beer and shit, like whatever, like and we just gonna have it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like so that's just how I approach that shit. Like I don't never try to goddamn just be like just super motherfucking serious and shit. Like
Well, I think that's a lot of rappers' downfall too, is trying to be too serious. You know, I think the artists that always appeal to more people are the ones who are able to, you know, have some humility and to be able to have fun with it. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know,
for
even
sure.
poke a joke at themselves once in a while. You know, and I think
Oh
that
yeah.
it makes you human, right? And I think that that's really important. But I wanted
Yeah,
to
man.
ask you, actually, just mentioning being in the studio sipping and stuff. I know you got the IPAs that you've been putting out. I can't forgive me, I can't remember the name of the company you were doing them through. But I was gonna
Burial.
say, sorry?
Burial.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but aside from your own IPAs, what's your poison when you're in the studio?
Um Shit, man. Probably gonna we'll probably have a case. I'll probably have a case of beer in it, but then we gonna have like probably tequila, OJ. Sometimes it's got dark and OJ or pineapple or whatever the fuck. But yeah, man. Just all just recipes for a good time, man. That's all.
It don't matter as long as it's something, right?
Yeah. We be all right. We all right.
And so, you know, obviously we had to get to this point. But you know, I know that you got the album release show next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
You
Congratulations on that.
said you can pull up. What? I'm sorry. Yeah, man. You welcome to pull up, man, if you want to, man. Well,
No, I
yeah,
wish I could. I wish I could. I'm on the
yeah,
other
for
side of
sure.
the border, man. I'm in Toronto.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
No,
But yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome, though,
release
man.
party Thursday.
That's a
Release party
beautiful thing.
Thursday. I'm excited for people to hear the album. Um, goddamn, I feel like of course I feel like it's my best work to date. Of course you would say that, but nah, I feel like it's my best work to date. I feel like it's my most personal work. And I'm really ready to you know what I'm saying, let the world have it. Yeah, man.
And to be able to, like, because I mean the news just broke of you and the Shady Deal, right? So I think I mean myself
Mm-hmm.
included, I didn't expect you to be dropping this quickly, you know what I mean? So I was a little floored actually when Tig told me that, like, yeah, this is the debut for me. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that well the way that everything is set up, um we have a partnership, you know. So and I think that it's kind of like the training wheels are off. You know what I'm saying? Like I came in this bitch without the training wheels. Like I had already gave motherfuckers bodies of work and Snub Nose came out in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Of course COVID hit and shit, but like coming off of Snub Nose is like, all right, yeah, you say it was 2019, but it's like, all right, 2020 was an off year for everybody. So it's like I still do have fans I have to feed, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the rest of the motherfuckers can catch up. Like, so they can go back and listen to this shit, you know what I'm saying? And we keep this shit pushing, or what? We just hold off and do singles. Like, yeah, nah, all that, you know what I'm saying? All of that shit is like, nah, bro. Like I'm already ready, and I'm already to the point where, like I said, we've already put a couple albums out that, you know what I'm saying, like you said, were great albums, and it's like they weren't on a platform to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not gonna. I'm already used to that. So like me putting this shit out, and whether it's too early or not, it's still on a larger platform than it's ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll just let the listeners be the judge of if it was too soon or not. You know what I'm saying? I'll let the music speak. So,
Yeah, no doubt. And to be honest, I don't necessarily think it's too soon. I actually think I think it's genius. I think you've capitalized on the moment. And I think a lot of artists don't do that. Like a lot of times when these types of situations happen, it might be years before you actually get an album, or a year or months, you know, like the fact
yeah,
that you were able to capitalize on the moment while the moment's still present and relevant,
yeah, so,
put it out, it's like that's genius as far as strategy, I think.
yeah, man, yeah, man. A few bumps in the road. Yeah, of course, we wish it would have came out a little bit sooner, but you know, we here now, so it's all good. All right, quit living the cop. So yeah, we here now, bro. It is what it is.
And what's the title of the album?
I died for this.
Woo, okay.
So yeah, IDFT, exclamation, question mark. Um, that's the whole title. And it's really just about duality. Uh, duality. And just how when's this air?
This will actually air just after the album drops. So I mean,
Okay.
if you want to actually
Yeah.
speak on certain
Oh yeah.
things on the album.
Please speak on it. So yeah, so it's pretty much about like duality of man, like the duality of grip. And pretty much like if you saw the album cover, you can see like I have Snub Nose in the background, I have Porch on the table, I have Proboscidea plants, and I have a halo over the skeleton. So it's pretty much just like everything that led me up to this point, you know what I'm saying, in music, and how you get to a certain point where you look back and you realize all that you sacrificed, uh, how naive you may have been at certain points, and it's like you lost certain parts of yourself that you'll just never gain back. So it's like a question mark, like damn, like I died for this. But then it's like during like in that moment, like it's like nah, like I died for this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like certain shit that you did that you gained out of the deal too. You know what I'm saying? That you're proud of. This is like having a new car. Like nah, nigga, I went hard for this, nigga. Like ain't nobody finna, you know what I'm saying? Take them off or whatever the case may be. And that's like exclamation or being braggadocious. You know what I'm saying? Like I put the work in, I died for this. Like nigga, you can't rap better than me. But then you have the other side where it's the question mark, where it's like, oh damn, you missed your child's first step because you were doing this, or you know what I'm saying? Like you lost out on this, or this relationship failed because you chose music over this shit and wasn't worth it. So it's just like it's like I said, it's about duality. And yeah, man, I think this shit hard, bro. It's hard. It's conceptual. It plays out like a play. So it's dope.
The concept alone, like just the way you explain the name with the exclamation and the question mark, like, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
you got the hook and sinker in now, bro. I can't wait to hear this shit.
Yeah, dog. I got then each song on DSPs will have a question mark or an exclamation or both. So yeah, it's dope. It's dope.
I love it, man. And that's one thing, you know, that I can that's a quality not many artists present nowadays. And that's one thing I really was fond of with your back catalog, was just how well thought out the albums are. So the fact that you just like the way you just explained that, it's like, oh man, I just can't wait to listen to that.
My dog, man. My dog. I appreciate it.
This. And you know, I gotta ask the question, you know, everybody will wonder. I mean, like I said, at this time the interview will be out, but did you get the Eminem feature for this one?
Yeah, for sure. Got that. Got that in the bag. Yeah, man, got the M feature. Great. Bro, me and Ted, I remember shit. Like, first we didn't think it was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But M's a good guy, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a good dude, bro. Like, he was man of his word and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell, like, at the end of the day, like he's still like it's like an artist, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he understands, you know what I mean? Like he understands shit, bro, like that execs and certain shit, like they just not gonna get it. Like they looking at that shit like just straight up business. But I feel like like, even though, yeah, you know it's business, like at the end of the day, like you a fellow MC and shit, and you grew up on him and he done signed you and shit, it's kind of just like, all right, bro, like, so yeah, man, I remember Tig text me like, yo, inverse in like incoming type shit. No, so I'm waiting. I keep refreshing my phone and shit. I'm like, God damn, like, yo, like, cause I had played him the whole album in Detroit, so I played him the song that I wanted him to get on, and he was just like, before I even told him I wanted him to get on that, she's like, damn, this hook is dope as fuck. And I was like, all right, cool, cause that's the song I wanted you to get on, shit. So now when I finally got the verse, man, I might have played that motherfucker. I might have played that song about 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Like put up on 2, played it for him. I might put up on my mama, played it for her. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, bro, it was dope. It was dope as fuck. So yeah, man, he on that motherfucker. He killed that shit too.
Oh man, did he do the typical M thing too and go give you like 100 bars on it?
Oh yeah, he gave it to me.
Shit.
He gave it to me, bro, man, for sure.
What a fucking blessing, bro. That's fucking incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, man. Shout out my guy Royce too. Royce on that motherfucker too.
On the same joint or on a different joint?
Album. I mean, on the album, but on a different joint.
Oh shit! We've had Royce on the show, actually.
Yeah, man. Shout out Royce, man. My dog.
Yeah. What's the joint with Royce called?
It's called Placebo.
Oh fuck! I can already just the name. I can already tell that's gonna be heated.
Yeah, it's dope, bro. 3 beat changes. So yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's hard though, man. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
Oh man. And what's that feeling like? Like, you know, when Tig hit you, he's like, yo, Mverse incoming, like, yo, the first time you heard that played back, what was the feeling?
Oh man, I don't even, bro, like I can't even describe it because it's just like, yo, like, bro, like I remember like literally listening to this man's shit as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I wasn't even a motherfucking teenager yet when I first heard this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know, bro. And then to be such a huge like fan of him and you know, I had to have studied him and shit. It's just like it's just full circle. You know what I'm saying? Full circle moment, bro. It was somewhat surreal, of course. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of just like, all right, nigga, now it's time to perform. It's time to do this shit. Like, so, nah, man. I love that shit, bro. I love it. I love it.
That's incredible, man. And like, even like, well, actually, I guess I want to ask this first before I go down that, because I could enter a different kind of, you know, a different wormhole, I suppose. But I got to ask as well, is there any Boogie or Conway features on the project?
Nah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what I did want to ask you, though, was, you know, like you bringing up, you know, like before I was a teenager, I was listening to this man, right? And it's like, because, you know, like to be, you know, like I said, like you're my age, right? You know, and I won't reveal it in case you don't want to, but you know, like we're a little bit older than the younger crowd, right? And so to be able to grind all those years and to finally get to a point, you know what I mean, where like you're finally starting to get your success and stuff, it's like the hard work is finally paying off. I think that's a really beautiful thing, and I think that's really inspiring and motivational, and I wish it happened more often. But I love when I see it. And then when it's somebody like I've expressed to you earlier in this interview, but you know, that I find as talented as yourself, it's a great feeling, man. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to see. But I wanted to ask you, like, were there any times along the road where you're just at your wits' end, you're about to be like, you know what, fuck it, man?
Shit. Hey, Tig, the test of this, I quit every motherfucking week, man. Like, shit. I quit every motherfucking week. Nah, but of course that shit get frustrating and shit. Like, you know, like, but it is what it is. I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? You know, like if you put all your eggs in one basket and shit, like, and you know, and I like, and this ain't no like just like talk shit, bro, like some condescending shit, but it's like I always knew that my shit was hard enough to get. It's like, bro, like I knew I wasn't playing myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I ain't just playing myself. Like my shit hard and like I can't goddamn get up. Like I just knew that shit. I knew that shit would work. Like now, what level it was gonna get to? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows if you was gonna end up with a huge platform, or maybe you just became, you know, like a underground legend or some shit. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I just knew, like, all right, bro, like this shit hard, like it's gonna work. Like, so I kind of just always had that. So even when I do say I'm gonna quit and shit, I be talking shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but of course you get discouraged from time to time, and you know all that shit. But I will say this: when we started doing this shit, we wasn't doing this shit for the money, right?
Yeah.
So that's my dog tripping. So so one thing that I always had in the back of my mind is like, and that's when, you know, that's when I was my happiest doing this shit. When I wasn't doing it for motherfucking money, I wasn't doing it for goddamn, you know, a career. Like I was doing that shit in the closet, like trying to come up with some fire shit. You know what I'm saying? When I'm just playing it for a motherfucking homies or a girlfriend at the time, whoever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I was or testing myself. Like I wasn't doing it for that back then. So like that, I was doing it straight for the love. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like when you was discouraged and shit, maybe a year or so ago, you gotta look at it like shit. You was further than you was back then. And it's like shit, nigga, I ain't 40 into out there, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like we still young as fuck, bro. Like we still young in the grand scheme of things. So now if I would have got to the point where a nigga 40 and it's just like, like that's a different story. It's like, okay, all right, nigga, I'm finna go get a goddamn job or do some real estate or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that my path is different because I wasn't ready at motherfucking 24. I wasn't ready at motherfucking 26. You know what I'm saying? Like I had my first child at 23. So when motherfuckers were starting to lock in and shit, I wasn't locking in, nigga. I was trying to goddamn figure out, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to move around, maneuver, try to goddamn figure out how I could take care of another motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was still a kid. I was still a kid. Like, fuck, I couldn't juggle all of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was dope, but I wasn't as dope as I was. That shit came with wisdom and just like life, like living and experience and shit. So yeah, man, I'm straight. I'm good, man. I'm still out of this bitch by the time I'm 40, bro.
Hey, you know,
I'm
that's a
out.
thing, man. And I think well, I think like to one point you said, right? Like when I was coming up, I always told myself, yo, if I ain't do nothing by 30, I'm out. You know what I mean? And then 30 comes and I'm like, I still kind of feel 22, you know, so am I. You know, I got, you know,
You feel me? Like,
so,
come on, man. I'm
so to
still
say that,
still
sorry,
young and young and goddamn young and dangerous, bro. Good.
exactly, man. You know, and I think I think hip hop, though it gets it gets the what's the word I'm looking for? Either way, it kind of gets the stain on it that like it's a young man's game.
My man's
But I
game.
think, yeah, in the recent years, it's been showing and proving that, you know, age doesn't really matter as long as the music's good. You know, Jay-Z dropped what I think is one of his top 5 albums, you know, well, a few years back. Nas, King's Disease 2, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so to see these guys this far along in their career and their life and age and be able to still be inspired to make great music, I think it goes to show, you know, there is no real age limit on it. But, you know, it's a beautiful thing that it happened for you when it did, because, you know, if you hadn't seen a success, then, you know, fuck, I'd be out when I'm 42. But you know, now that you're in position, I have a feeling when you get to 40, you probably be like, I still got an album or two in me. You know,
I think I'm gonna just play the nomad, man. I'm gonna drop hard ass features and shit. And I ain't fuck with. I love music, but I don't like I just don't like what the game has become right now. Like I said, man, this is just too accessible. It's oversaturated, like it's flooded. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and I think people don't really know what they want. I feel like the internet. I don't know. Like I love internet is a gift and a curse, of course. The internet can connect people to your music that never would have heard it, but at the same time, it's just like fucking nerds and fucking just like people who just feel like they can say whatever the fuck they want to say. Like it's the wild, wild west. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, and that shit don't affect me or bother me. It's just that at a certain point, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at 3 Stacks, for instance, bro. Like at a certain point, you done made your coin, bro. You a legend in this shit. Hey man, let them niggas have this shit, man. Let them have this little shit. You know what I'm saying? They can have it. The young crowd and shit, you know. So, you know, I think that's how I feel about that shit, man. I think I'll still be doing features and shit, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be rapping at 40. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if I'm gonna just, oh yeah, my new album, like my new No Country for Old Men. You know, so, yeah. Like I'm straight. I think I'm straight on that shit, man. I got so many other things that I want to do. You know, like I say, I got a line in the album where I say, niggas think as I dropped the classic, I'm doing better. Like I got a slew of cheddar. If only you knew my thoughts of pursuing a new endeavor. They're saying, grip, you can't give up on the music, never. I quit is something you could never say. It's funny, Dad, like I just started rapping yesterday. Fact of the matter is, you niggas just started pressing play. So it's one of them things where it's like, nigga, I've been rapping, nigga. I've been rapping for motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? I've been rapping since I was motherfucking 17, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, it ain't one of them things. It's like, and it's like once I reach that pinnacle, or once I feel like I've done what I had to do here, then it's like, all right, next thing. Maybe I'll be a director. Maybe it'll be film. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It might be like, of course, the brewery and shit, all this shit that I just want to get kicked off and shit. Who knows? But yeah, I got other things that I want to do for sure.
Yeah. And one thing you actually said there too, that actually circled back to it was an interview I was watching of yours, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of the network, but there was some, it seemed like you guys went back, you had done a showcase for them back in the day and stuff. Infinite, something infinite.
Oh, Infinite Vibe, Infinity Vibes.
Yeah, I believe that was the name of it. But early in the interview, you actually said something about the Shady Deal, and I can't remember if you used the actual term "gift and the curse" or if you used the term "there's the pros and the cons." And I mean, everybody can obviously understand what the pros are, but I was curious, you know, what were some of the cons that you would say that come along with that?
I think that me and Tig we've maneuvered somewhat independently for, you know what I'm saying, for our entire career so far. So you know, just working with majors is a whole different ball game, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the things. And actually it's not a con. It's just like shit, you just learning a different side of this shit. You know, like, so you not being able to do shit when you want to do it is not always a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like we've learned that shit over the years, man, for sure. So and I mean, just working with other people. So that's not necessarily a con, but you know, it's definitely something that at the beginning we had to adjust. It was an adjustment period. So it's that shit, and of course, just the everything that comes with it, the good and the negative, as far as, you know, motherfuckers wanting you to feel the Slim Shady shoes. Like, motherfucker, I ain't trying to rap like Eminem. I'm not your next Eminem, motherfucker. I'm first grip. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those type of expectations, that's just like, you know, motherfuckers, like I said earlier, motherfuckers want you to that shit to be catered like to them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and yeah, man, like, just that platform comes with, you know what I'm saying, pros and cons. So just that large platform is gonna be motherfuckers like, oh my God, I love this shit. Let me motherfuckers like, hey man, your shit suck. When's Conway shit dropping, nigga? Like, I want to hear this shit, nigga. Like, you know, like, but it is what it is. That's the pros and cons that I was mainly talking about, you know.
Yeah. And I assumed it probably, I assumed that maybe like pressure or expectations was probably kind of more so the hand, but just when you said gift and curse there, it made that click, and I was like, oh, I had to ask about that. But
no pressure, Kelly. Never no pressure, bro. No pressure.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This what we do. This what we do. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no pressure, never.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's expectations, but yeah, nah, ain't no pressure, bro. We good. But yeah, nah, yeah. Overall, man, the pros outweigh the cons. You know what I'm saying? But the pros outweigh.
No doubt, right? You know, and I mean, firstly, once again, I want to say thank you for taking the time with us. I don't want to eat up your whole night. You know, I appreciate your time. I don't want to overstep my boundary here. But I do got just like a couple more things I want to ask before you know, I let you go for the evening, if that's all right with you.
All right, I'm listening.
So the first thing would be, you know, with the whole M thing, like when you were spending time with him, did he specify like maybe which body of work or songs or whatever that like really clicked of yours, of his, that was like, oh, we got to get this kid?
226 Snub Nose.
Yeah.
226. Yeah, that was a song that he got. I talked to him on the phone. You know what I'm saying? He was very impressed with that one. So yeah, I think after diving in the whole project, I feel like he kind of knew to pull the trigger.
I like the way you played that too, knew to pull the trigger, you know. And one last thing I gotta ask, you know, spending some time in the studio with them, and you know, for all the other artists out there, was there any specific jewels that he dropped on you that day that stuck with you?
Well, with the date when I met him?
Yeah.
Shit, man, we talked about a lot of shit. Let's see. Let's see. What did my man say, man? Nah, that day, see, it was probably the conversations that we had beforehand, because we had already talked for like hours before, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're on the phone. So, you know, it was but it was just one of them things, like when we talked on the phone, he was just telling me what he went through, you know what I'm saying? Like beforehand, and how, you know, his story before or when he first got signed, and just, you know, saying that whatever isn't figured out, it'll come to you. Royce definitely was big on advice, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, they just taking on that OG role, and kind of just letting you know, like, yo, man, motherfuckers, niggas shit and piss just like we do, you know what I'm saying? Like almost like I said, like, it's no pressure, bro. Like, you're gonna do what you're gonna, like, you're gonna perform, bro. Like, you're gonna do what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. It's dope to have that relationship, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing. You know, Grip, I appreciate your time so much, man. You know, like I said, I don't want to eat up your whole night. I could keep going, but you know, hopefully maybe in the future we could get you back on the show again. You know, very
let me know.
Conversation with you, man. I've enjoyed this a lot. You know, and like I said, man, I just want to thank you for your time, taking the time out, and congratulate you on the success, man. And I can't wait to hear the album.
My man, dog, I appreciate you having me, man.